What's up, guys? Spooky here. We are here to talk about some Dark and Darker today. Some big stuff came with the wipe that actually came out yesterday. The biggest thing I wanted to talk about, and the thing I'm most worried about, is the new training system. Now, to preface, it is an experimental system. It will be changing. We won't have to worry about this in the future because I'm sure there's going to be huge overhauls, which is probably for the best. This new training system says that when you get to level 100, you gain the ability to teach your class perks and abilities to other adventurers within your account. Reading that, it kind of seems like a rogue could level up to 100, and after getting some of these tokens, you could teach any of those said abilities to any of your other classes that you have also leveled up to 100, I believe. So no matter what, you have to have two characters that are level 100 in this new training system. Granted, it is in fact late game, essentially very late game. It could still be very detrimental to the balance of this game. Looking at some of the rogue abilities, they would be able to use Jokester, Hide, Smoke Bomb, Rupture, Poison Weapon, and be able to put that on any other class that they actually leveled up. One of the biggest things I'm worried about is actually double jump. I don't know about you guys, could you imagine a double jump on a barb? I'm essentially a fighter and rogue main. Those are the two that I play the most, and I play them frequently. I kind of understand the nuances, but with this new system, I see so many devastatingly big game changes that I don't understand how to balance it in the least. Meaning, if you can actually teach class and abilities, you can take Judgment, you can take Smite from the Cleric and put it on any class that shouldn't be using it. Judgment on a class that shouldn't really have it for even 7 seconds of a 10 extra damage makes daggers on a rogue extremely dangerous. Granted, some of these skills won't actually give you any benefit to put on other classes, but the ones that can change that class entirely and make some builds that were okay extremely powerful. One of my biggest worries is in fact the Barbarian. They're already strong as is. The only thing that they need is movement capabilities. You imagine Rage gives you all the things that you could want with a physical debuff duration on there. So like you're just going to be taking more damage, but imagine them with Rage and Sprint, Rage and Second Wind. These changes can destroy the semblance of balance as Dark and Darker as we know it. But think of this, you can grab Savage, you can grab Potion Chugger, Morale, the two-handed weapon bonus, and put that on any class that is using a two-handed weapon. You can put Savage Roar on any class, essentially giving everyone a 50% damage debuff for a certain amount of time, giving everybody Rage. Warlock just got a new ability, and I'm super excited to use it, but now all I can think of is seeing it on other characters. Essentially my rogue. I mean, I'm really into thinking about how to make my rogue as strong as possible here. The biggest thing being Shadow Touch. Dealing physical damage to an enemy with a melee weapon deals 3 true magical damage and heals you for 3 health. That's a 3 damage bonus every single attack, and on fast attacking weapons, that will add up fairly fast. Pair that with Poison Weapon, and you have yourself a lot of magic damage coming, as well as health coming in. Not to mention, you look at some of the abilities that grant the fact that you can wear heavy armor or take away plate or wear plate. So with the Warlock, you can actually wear demon armor, or whatever that's actually called. You can wear plate armor at the cost of your spellcasting ability. Does that mean we could actually put that on classes that cannot wear plate and grant the fact that we could wear plate with that ability? Yes, you'd be wasting a slot, but for the defense, it could be useful. Can you imagine a rogue coming out of stealth in full plate? And then you have to think on the opposite side of the spectrum, classes that already don't wear plate armor, are they actually hindered from taking the Slayer perk? A rogue with Slayer gets a stacked 5 damage on both of their primary and secondary weapons, with no negation to actually anything. They weren't wearing plate in the first place. Slayer on a rogue is very dangerous. I can only imagine a Slayer, Shadow Touch, Poison Weapon, Ambush Rogue. Looking at Fighter here, mostly the thing that I think would be scary from Fighter on Rogue or some other classes would be Combo Attack. Mostly the things that attack fast. Combo Attack on a Rogue means you're consistently going to get that 10% buff for your damage. Slayer is going to be a big one. Dual Wielding is big for even faster attacks. Swift on any class is pretty nice just to have that speed. Weapon mastery on any class is also a very good perk, meaning that you will not have to actually choose your weapons. You'll be able to take anything. But we have Adrenaline Surge, Victory Strike, Second Wind, and Sprint, two of the best abilities in the game that you could have on any class. Bard's abilities don't seem that they translate super well, but there are some that could be super good. Rapier Mastery on a Rogue, Storyteller, +3 will and +3 knowledge. Pair that with Jokester and you could be the ultimate buffer for your party. You could actually put Jokester on the Bard and give yourself a +5 and +5 to will and +5 to knowledge, granting yourself magic damage and casting speed. If you have a wizard on your team, he'll greatly appreciate it, or any other caster for that matter. Not to mention the buffs that the Bard already brings to the table. That static 5 to those 2 and the +2 to the others are actually going to be huge. That's scary. My final thoughts on this are mostly, I'm not sure how they would balance this in the end. Obviously, this is for more late game play, but I would say be prepared to see outlandish things in the coming future for Dark and Darker, such as barbs that can go invisible, fighters with the ability to absolutely lose their mind with damage, rogues with insane numbers. I'm telling you, the possibilities are open, and I have no idea how this will affect Dark and Darker other than absolute anarchy for a short amount of time until they decide to change this or set it up in a way that it's not super crazy to balance.